Welcome to Sumac Watches. In this video I'll be showing you how to do a battery change in a Seiko Gen 1 7A28-7120, and I'll be going through some of the basic operating procedures for using the watch. So to get started, I have a Gen 1 here to use for the demo. These were supplied to the Ministry of Defence from 1984 to 1990. This one is a 1984 watch in pretty nice condition. The first step is to remove the case back. The recommended case back removal tool is a friction ball like this. Before you try anything else, use one of these friction balls, as it's impossible to damage the watch with one of these. If it doesn't work, then try a mechanical tool like one of these JAXA tools or a bench mounted case back tool. Once you have the case back off, you can see the battery sitting in the compartment here, and we can remove that now. One other thing to note while you have the back off the watch is this friction spring on top of the bridge plate in the middle of the movement. If you dislodge or damage that spring, the stopwatch sweep seconds hand won't work properly anymore, so just be very careful not to touch it. Seiko very helpfully put a little depression under the battery here. If I just push some tweezers in there, the old battery will just pop out. So that's the battery out, and now we can put the new battery in. The 7A28 takes a 394 battery, and I recommend you use either Renata or Seiko, and I'll tell you why. I've had hundreds of Seiko Gen 1s. A lot of these were disposed of by the Ministry of Defence, stored for many years. Most of them had never been opened up or tested since they were disposed of by the MOD. When I opened them up, I found that most of them still had the original Seiko battery that was in the watch when it was supplied to the Ministry of Defence, like this 1989 watch. My guess is that the watch was used with the original battery, and when the watch was returned to stores, the battery was never changed, it was never reissued, and eventually went for disposal. 9 out of 10 of the watches that still have the original Seiko batteries never leaked, even after being dead for decades. And if I put a new battery in there now, that movement will probably run. It might be a bit sticky with old oil, but the movement itself is undamaged. Some of the watches I acquired ex-MOD did have the original batteries replaced with high street brand batteries like Everready, Varta or Duracell. 9 out of 10 of those watches had battery leaks, and the movements were damaged or totally wrecked, like this one here. And I had to scrape the corrosion off the battery to see the brand name, and this one was a Maxell. So fitting a really good quality battery is super important to the life and health of your 7A28 movement. I've never been able to source batteries with the Seiko brand name, but you can get Seiko, which are made by Seiko. Again, best not to handle the battery with your bare fingertips. Use finger cots or plastic tweezers or just a piece of transparent polythene to handle it. This is the positive battery contact, and it's springy to grip the battery, so we can just push the battery in against that and make sure it's all the way down into the battery compartment. And that's the battery fitted now, as simple as that. Once the new battery is fitted, there's no need to do anything else. It will just start up straight away. You may notice, however, after you put a new battery in, the chronograph hands no longer point to the start positions. So we need to reset the chronograph hands to the correct positions. To do that, pull the crown to the first stop, and you can then use the pushers to reset each of the registers. The top right pusher will reset the 10th second register, and I can set that back to the start position like that. The bottom right pusher will reset the center sweep seconds hand. If I keep it pushed, it will just sweep around, and then I can adjust that to the correct position. The top left pusher resets the minute counter sub-register over here. When they're all set, you can push the crown back in. To operate the chronograph, start the stopwatch using the top right pusher. Push again to stop the stopwatch. The bottom right pusher resets the chronograph back to the start position. With the stopwatch running, we also have a split timer function. Just press the top left pusher and the stopwatch will stop running, but in the background it's still counting. When I press the top left pusher again, the chronograph hands will recover the correct position based on the total elapsed time and will then continue running until you either use the split timer again or stop and reset. One other thing you can do is test the chronograph mechanism. If you keep the bottom right pusher depressed for more than 2 seconds, all 3 chronograph registers will spin 1 full revolution. And there you have it, Seiko Gen 1, battery change and basic operating procedures. Many thanks for watching. Check out our website sumacwatches.com for military watch sales, all serviced in our own workshop, and follow us at Sumac Watches on Instagram for more mostly military watch content.